Now, I have a question for you.
Yes.
When an individual whose memory is not good, if they tell you something that is not true, would you just, they are mistaken, would you just tell them, no, you're wrong, or would you just go along with them and just not to embarrass them that they've said something wrong?
That's a very good question. We now know that was a whole element of psychology that's changed in the last 2 decades. 2 decades ago, they would have said, no, correct the person, tell them that's not correct. If somebody was looking for their spouse that passed away, for instance.
Yes,
But now we believe through the validation theory, which was created by Naomi Feldman, that you're supposed to validate the person wherever they are in their life.
I'm so glad you said that, because I used to go along with them, whereas other people kept arguing, no, you're wrong. And I would say, just hold back. And I said, just let's go along with it.
Yes, so you knew. Because it's important to go along with where they are. Many times, and my students will come back and say they've been doing an internship. They'll come back and say, the person thought I was their daughter, or the person thought I was their son. And I just go along with it and ask them if they'd like to do an activity with me. I get them involved in speaking, and I constantly tell them that that's the right way to interact, to go along with
Go along with them. Thank you.
Yeah. So you were right.
I was right. Yeah, this is very, very helpful. Like you said, it hasn't been done before.
No.
And I used to feel so badly that we're keeping these old people alive, but they have nothing to get up for.
Well, that's another good point. Because if you engage someone with something they're interested in, like bringing in a hobby from their past, one of the things that I do with phototherapy is, for instance, if the person liked to garden or to sail, I now have an Arts for Interaction phototherapy book that I could show them pictures of sailing or pictures of gardens and have them interact with you and talk about their past interests through these photographs. So that's what really is, we're starting to see that we can open up someone's life and keep them alive and keep them wanting to engage if they're interested in it. And again, going back to being person-centered with the programming. So you don't just line everyone up in front of bingo and expect that to be fulfilling. In fact, you go into the person's history and you assess, what did they like to do?
Well, this one individual that I'm thinking about, she used to remember songs, all the words to the song that she would sing. So we used to sing a lot.
That's right, and that's one of the steps, the music. In one of the steps of the TAP method, we use music of olden time because we memorized it somehow in our mind. We don't know why, but music causes an emotional snapshot. So if you take a piece of music, if you're driving in your car and a piece of music comes on, does it not bring you back to who you were with? A special person, a special girlfriend? And so music is very powerful to the human psyche. So music is a great aspect to use, and it's part of the TAP method with people who are older, because they remember the music where they might not remember my name.
Right. Now, this method for how to deal with people whose memory is going, is this something that you would be teaching to the people who work in homes?
Yes, I teach at St. Thomas Aquinas College in Rockland County, and my students who learn therapeutic recreation, actually I've developed a course now that they learn how to engage the TAP method in their internship. So they create a theme. Their responsibility is to go into the nursing home or the community center where they're working and create a theme using all these 9 steps. Right. And they have to photograph themselves with the individuals, having conversation about a theme, picking a theme. For instance, we're coming into September. It's a time for change, right? The weather changes, people change, they go from vacation to work. Well, the TAP method, to use a theme, the person could maybe use the theme of change in autumn. So you might put on autumn music and then have them think about what forest they've been in and the changing leaves. Then have them draw those leaves. Then from drawing, maybe they want to sculpt their Halloween pumpkin because it's going into October and Halloween. And that's how we use the TAP method. Then from the Halloween pumpkin, maybe we want to do a food program that's reminiscent of the candy that we would create as an individual who was going out trick-or-treating.
And would you say that there are some therapists who would just do this method individually if they want?
Absolutely. This method is being done individually, and it's actually now being researched by a student in Rochester, New York. A graduate student is using the TAP method just for Spanish-speaking individuals.
So
this product is going. I'm sorry?
I said and that's Japanese.
So yes, it's being done in Spanish and bilingual, as well as some of the Perfect Sense products and Arts for Interaction will be available in Spanish.
So that thing that you showed me before was that, are there any other methods that you created this, right?
Yes. Yes.
Is there anything else you created that
this is the puzzle. Then I created create a memory box activity so the individual can sit down.
Is that a visual thing?
They have a box and then they can glue things on it like seashells or mosaic tiles and then put their cherished memories in the memory box. And what's wonderful is these type of products help intergenerationally, so grandchildren can interact with their grandparents using these type of activities. So beyond the activity box, there's a sculpture kit and there's painting to music. So these are all different activities that can be engaging.
Well, I think this is really a wonderful thing that you created, and I think you're going to go down in history books.
Well, thank you.
And believe it or not, our time is up, and I want to thank you so much for giving this information.
Thank you for having me
and to the world. And I want to thank everybody who helped me to create this show. And tune in again next week. It's another wonderful guest, Dan Bailey. He's a musician, drummer.
Wonderful.
He promised to visit me.
Great.
And I have this wonderful new camera person, Russian. I forget this is a Russian name. Nikolai. Oh, thank you. I have to use this book because
you have to go out.
I keep forgetting things so much.
Well, thank you for having me. It was my pleasure.
Yes.
And remember, keep using your brain.